Oliver had always been cordial to Mr. Whitmore, the elderly gentleman who resided in the Victorian townhouse at the end of his road in London. The man seemed frail yet composed, always sitting by his window or tending to his overgrown garden. Whenever Oliver passed by, he would nod in greeting, never thinking much of it. But soon the old man's interest in him became unsettling. It started subtly. A vintage book on photography, his hobby, left outside his door. A neatly wrapped parcel containing a silk scarf in his preferred color. Handwritten notes penned in old-fashioned cursive, admiring his demeanor, his voice, his very existence. At first, Oliver brushed it off as harmless kindness, but then he began to feel watched. Every time he stepped outside, Mr. Whitmore was there, seated on his porch, staring, peering through the lace curtains whenever Oliver returned home. The letters grew unnerving, references to things Oliver had done behind closed doors. "You seemed restless last night," one read. "I could soothe you if you'd let me." Discomfort turned into alarm when Oliver arrived home one evening to find his flat door slightly ajar. Inside, nothing appeared stolen, but something was undeniably wrong. The arrangement of his books had changed. A cup of tea, still warm, sat on the kitchen table, yet he hadn't made one. The scent of lavender and aged cologne lingered in the air. The next morning, he confronted Mr. Whitmore. "I think someone been inside my home," he said, trying to keep his voice even. The old man smiled softly, his gaze unwavering. "London can be lonely, my dear boy. One shouldn't isolate themselves." Oliver stiffened. "I need you to stop sending things, and please leave me alone." The warmth drained from Mr. Whitmore's face, his lips pressing into a thin line. "You don't understand yet, but you will." The following days were torment, scratching noises at his window in the dead of night. Wilted roses left on his doorstep. Emails from anonymous addresses detailing his evening routines, his choice of nightwear, the songs he absent-mindedly hummed in the shower. He reported it to the authorities, but they dismissed his concerns. "He's just an old man, probably harmless. Let us know if he makes any threats." Then came the photographs, tucked beneath his windshield wiper, enclosed in a weathered envelope. Dozens of images: Oliver walking through the park, sipping coffee at his favorite cafe, lying in bed with the curtains slightly ajar. And worse, photographs of other men, strangers, some dated back decades. Mr. Whitmore's obsession wasn't new. Panic set in. Oliver packed a bag, fleeing to a friend's flat across the city. A week later, the police finally contacted him. Mr. Whitmore had been arrested after breaking into another young man's home. A search of his townhouse uncovered a chilling collection: articles of clothing, personal trinkets, locks of hair, and journals filled with Oliver's name scrawled repeatedly. Oliver never returned to his old street, but sometimes, even in a different part of London, he felt the weight of unseen eyes upon him, because some fixations never fade, and shadows once cast never truly vanish.